Welcome back, folks, to another perfectly normal, perfectly stable week in the European Union. At least that's what the people causing all the instability would have you believe. Everything is under control, says Ursula von der Leyen, and you know she might be right. Not because any problems were solved, but because everyone just pretended they were. The week kicked off with a bit of mystery. Strange drones zipping across European airspace. Nobody knew where they came from, but naturally, all fingers started pointing east toward Russia. Russia, of course, denied it. The EU, in its infinite wisdom, said it was too early to judge. Then, plot twist, one of the drones crashed right onto a European test field, smack in the middle of a sustainable, innovative airspace project funded by Brussels. So to recap, the drones are probably Russian, unless awkwardly, they're ours. The European Commission announced it takes the threat seriously, which in EU speak means they'll form a task force, create a PowerPoint, and probably design a very expensive logo. The drones are still out there, by the way, but now they're officially under observation. Problem solved. Next up, the EU decided to protect its steel industry by slapping extra import tariffs on everyone, but especially on the United Kingdom. Yes, that United Kingdom. The same one Europe is kinda hoping will show up with tanks if Putin ever gets a little too ambitious. The logic is just breathtaking. It's like saying, we'd love for you to defend our border, but please keep your cheap steel away from it. It's that classic EU balance between high principles and spectacular self-harm. Britain responded with typical politeness, which, in diplomatic terms, means they're probably howling with laughter behind closed doors. And of course, we can't forget France, the land of revolutions, strikes, and presidents who act like Napoleon, just without the winning streak. Macron tried to restore order again this week, but his cabinet collapsed faster than a fresh baguette on a Sunday afternoon. Ever since his little democratic restructuring attempt in 2024, the silent coup, nobody really trusts him. Even his own party members are whispering that France might be better off run by ChatGPT. But wait, the satire festival isn't over. Italy decided to join the party. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, along with her ministers and the head of a major defense company, has been reported to the International Criminal Court. The charge? Alleged complicity in war crimes related to the conflict in Gaza. Meloni reacted with theatrical shock, as if her dog had just eaten the morning paper. She insisted Italy hasn't approved any new arms sales to Israel since last October. Meanwhile, protesters filled the streets and dock workers went on strike. So now, Meloni is trying to walk that impossible tightrope between defending human rights and not upsetting powerful allies. It's a political balancing act that could only exist in European politics, or a really good comedy sketch. And so, Europe stumbles onward. With mysterious drones, steel no one can buy, leaders who still believe their own hype, and a prime minister accused of serious crimes who is still finding time to schedule another protest day. Because, let's be honest, actually standing still would just be far too suspicious. If this is what a normal week in Europe looks like, what on earth would chaos be? Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this dose of reality, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next week.